Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. W.C. Handy, won't you look down over me? Yeah, I got a first-class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis, just walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Saw the ghost of Elvis on Union Avenue, followed him up to the gates of Graceland, and I watched him walk right through. Now security, they did not see him, they just hovered round his tomb. But there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room. When I was walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? They've got catfish on the table, they've got gospel in the air, and Reverend Green, be glad to see you when you haven't got a prayer. But boy, you got a prayer in Memphis. Now Muriel plays piano every Friday at the Hollywood, and they brought me down to see her, and they asked me if I would do a little number, and I sang with all my might. She said, tell me, are you a Christian child? And I said, ma'am, I am tonight. Walking in Memphis, was walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off a beam. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues, in the middle of the pouring rain.
Missing you, it's been 1 week since you left. Didn't leave a lot, just one last kiss. Had a feeling when I met you that I never would forget you. Come back whenever you want to, baby. I'll be holding on, I'll be holding on. Call it crazy, call it stupid, but I never wanna lose it. Lose that feeling all that you give, baby. I'll be holding on, I'll be
I remember thinking I'll go on forever only knowing I'll see you again. But I know the touch of you is hard to remember, but like that touch I know no other. And for sure we have danced in the risk of each other. Would you like to dance around the world with me? I'll be falling all about my own thing, and I know you're the heaviest weight when you're not here. That song around my head, and your lips burn wild from the face of a child, and in your eyes the scene of the greatest view. Hey, do what you will, always walk away like your steps, do as you please, I'll back you up. I remember thinking sometimes we walk, sometimes we run away, but I know no matter how fast we are running, somehow we keep up with each other. I'll be falling all about my own thing, and I know you're the heaviest weight when you're not here. That song around my head, and your lips burn wild from the face of a child, and in your eyes the scene of the greatest view. Hey, do what you will, always walk away like your steps, do as you please, I'll back you up. And I know you're the heaviest weight when you're not here. That song around my head, and your lips burn wild from the face of a child, and in your eyes the scene of the greatest view. Hey, do what you will, always walk away like your steps, do as you please, I'll back you up.
Canelo Alvarez, this is a champion.
No. Better play something to wake y'all up now. Too much of that sleepy music for early in the morning. Y'all should be excited. It's Friday, for Christ's sake.
No, lady, how about you shut the f*** up? I'm doing Bluetooth, bitch! Stop mistreating Uncle Lou!
That's a great idea. No! No! No. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Is everybody excited? Happy Friday. Last day of school for some of the trolls. Any of y'all have Monday through Friday jobs? I don't know. Hope y'all had a good week. I had a great week. It's the best week I've had in a long time. Facts. Facts. If y'all's week was half as good as mine, you had an amazing week. Golden Blue Dude's coming on this morning. Golden Blue Dude, I turned the phone system on. So instead of me calling you, you can just call in whenever you want. It's the call-in number for the show. 706-786-4481. 706-786-4481. Colby, you graduated yesterday? Well, congratulations, sir. I'm happy for you. It's a big accomplishment. What'd you get your degree in? I'm sure you've told me before and I forgot, so I apologize for forgetting, but what'd you get your degree in? Huffer Billy Paul says it's been a spectacular week. I could describe my week in a similar way, sir. Jordan graduated too. I don't believe Jordan was actually in school. I think he made that up. BCC said he started coaching his kids' softball team. Good luck with that. I've been down that road. I coached t-ball, and then whatever they call it, minor league, whatever comes after that when you first start having a real pitcher. I coached my son's baseball team for 3 years before he switched to soccer. Gators Own, thank you for hitting the super chat. He says, I'm going to my first Gator event today since February 2020. Was that going to be a baseball game? Huffer Billy Paul says he coached soccer and said never again after that. I didn't coach soccer because I didn't know enough about it to teach the kids anything. I barely knew the rules of soccer. So when he switched to soccer, I had to tell him, I won't be able to coach you in soccer. I wouldn't have been doing those kids any favors by trying to coach them soccer. I literally knew nothing about the sport. So now there was a couple of years he played soccer where the head coach needed an assistant coach or needed somebody to help out. So I did that a couple of times where I was, I guess, the assistant coach. But I never could have been the head coach of his soccer team. The kids wouldn't have learned anything from me when it comes to soccer. Der Wake says, Lou coached? How many kids did you punch? Only one, my own. That's it. No, I did not punch my own kid, no. Fair question, though, I guess. Fair question. Any exciting plans for the weekend? I don't think, have I mentioned this? I don't know if I've mentioned this. My dad, you guys know my mom passed away about 2.5 years ago. My dad has sold the house that him and my mom lived in, the house I grew up in. We moved there. We moved into that house the summer before my 4th grade year. I think it was 1987, 1988. So I lived there basically my whole life. And he's selling the house. And the housing market, I don't know about where y'all are at, but the housing market here is insane. It's just absolutely insane, right? It reminds me of 2006 and 2007 before the housing market bubble burst. It's just ridiculous here right now. Houses, you put a for sale sign in your yard, the house is sold before the sign really has ever settled in the ground. Houses are selling for 15 and 20% more than people are asking for the house. It's just insane right now. My dad put a for sale sign in his yard at 9:30 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was sold by noon for about 15% more than he was asking. It's unreal here right now. You almost have to know a realtor ahead of time who can tell you, hey, there's a house going on the market tomorrow. You know, it's crazy. So anyway, so he's having a cookout and pool party, like a last hurrah at the house this weekend on Saturday. So we're gonna go over there and hang out all day. My kids are actually spending the night with him tonight. He's having a spend the night party tonight with my kids and my brother's kids, so all the grandkids. So do your thoughts for Papa Lou today, that he's able to manage these 4 knucklehead grandkids that he's got to have spend the night over at his house tonight, and then a bunch of us are going over there to tomorrow. A bunch of friends and family are going over tomorrow for a cookout and a pool party. And he's already started moving stuff out, so he's going to be gone out of there here in the next few days. But that's a weird feeling. I don't know. I was over there the other day, and I was like, I can't believe it's going to be one of the last times I'm ever in this house. It's just strange. I barely remember the house we lived in before that. Like I said, we moved out of that house after my 3rd grade year and moved into this new house right before I started 4th grade. So a long time ago, 32 years ago, 33 years ago. Long time. A lot of memories in that house. Most of them good. But it's a strange feeling to know that, probably after Saturday, I may never be back in that house again. It's just a weird, I don't know. It's hard to describe or explain, I think, unless you've been through it, I think. You can call whenever you want. Golden Blue Dude, thank you for the super chat. Waikiki, thank you for the super chat. He says, will Jim Harbaugh be there? No. When they're going to have a trial and they're selecting jurors, and you get to ask the jurors a bunch of questions, and then the prosecutor and the defense attorney, they each get to strike like 5 potential jurors. They can just say, I don't want that juror. I don't want that juror. Jim Harbaugh was on my strike list, so they were going to invite him, but I used my veto power to rescind Jim Harbaugh's invitation. So no, Jim Harbaugh will not be there. Talk is Pitt. Good to see you, sir. He says, I just stopped by to say hello, and that West Virginia still sucks. Well, we've been staring at West Virginia pictures on the screen for 3 weeks straight. Every Friday we change this picture up. Well, we change it up on Monday based on Friday. And the last 3 Fridays in a row, our buddy Mike Reiser has won. And all 3 weeks he picked he's a West Virginia fan, and all 3 weeks he's picked a West Virginia picture to put up there. So we're going to have a new winner today. Maybe it'll be Mike Reiser again. I don't know. Or maybe somebody can knock him off the mountain, so to speak. Highest super chat or highest PayPal at the end of today's show gets to pick the picture that goes up here next to the show schedule all next week. And it can be any picture you want as long as it's YouTube approved, YouTube friendly. It can be a picture of your favorite team like Mike Reiser's been doing. We've had people send in pictures of their kids dressed up in their college team gear. We've had people send in like troll pictures or memes making fun of certain teams. It's up to you. Whatever picture you want to send in, you send it in. And so the highest super chat or PayPal at the end of today's show, you'll get to pick that picture that goes up next week. So, good luck. May the odds be ever in your favor, as they would say in the Hunger Games. Speaking of Hunger Games, not really. This doesn't have anything to do with the Hunger Games, but it just kind of reminded me of another trilogy, Twilight. Remember the Twilight trilogy, the movies? They were okay. They weren't great. They were okay. But anyway, even if you didn't see the Twilight movies or read the books, you know the story. It's a basically vampire love story, I guess, is the best way to describe it, with a little bit of werewolf mixed in. Anyway, before Twilight was, before everybody was talking about Twilight, there was that show on HBO, True Blood. Who remembers that? Who remembers the show on HBO, True Blood? I had never seen it before. I've heard people talk about it. I know people that have seen it. I had never seen it. I started watching True Blood about a week ago. It's a pretty good show. It's a pretty good show. In the second episode of True Blood, someone gets screwed to death. Yeah, it's true. And I'm on. I think there's 12 episodes in season 1. I've watched 11, so I'm almost done with season 1. I got to watch the finale of season 1, and I'll be done with the first season. But it's a pretty good show. So I know people are always looking for I've seen everything on Netflix, or I've seen everything on HBO Max. Give me something to watch. I see these posts and comments all the time. If you've never seen True Blood, and I'm not a vampire nut either. I'm not into all that really. But it is a pretty good show. So if you're looking for something to watch, maybe give that a try. True Blood. That's right. No, Uncle Lou still has not watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But speaking of that, though, does anybody know when season 3 of The Mandalorian is coming out? I have mixed feelings about season 3 of The Mandalorian, because the end of season 2, I've said this before, the ending of season 2 of The Mandalorian is the greatest ending of any show ever made of all time, and there's not a close second. And in season 3, it's a totally different storyline now in season 3, and I don't see how they could spend 100 years working on season 3. They'll never top season 2. I don't care how good the rest of the seasons of The Mandalorian are. It peaked in season 2. It cannot get any better. The ending of season 2. Now you have to have been a Star Wars fan for. You have to be a Star Wars fan to appreciate The Mandalorian to start with, but especially to appreciate the ending. But it's unbelievable. It's the best ending of all time. Nothing is a close second. Nothing is a close second. I was standing up in my living room, yelling and clapping at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian. I wish I could go back and watch season 2 of The Mandalorian. I wish they would invent a machine that could erase certain memories from your mind. I would love to completely erase my memories of season 2 of The Mandalorian so that I can experience it for the first time again. It's like the first time you see Saw. Remember the movie Saw? Wouldn't you love to go back and rewatch Saw? It's not the same now because you know how it ends, but wouldn't you love to go back and rewatch Saw not knowing how it ends again like the first time you saw it? I think I must have sat and stared at the TV with my mouth wide open for 25 minutes at the end of Saw 1. Now, the rest of the Saw movies, they got more cheesy as they went along. Although the new one that's coming out should be really, really good. I think the new Saw movie might be good, the one that's coming out. But anyway, no one cares about that. But the ending of Saw 1 was that way. I wish someone could erase my memories of the first Saw movie so I could go back and rewatch it for the first time. The new Saw has a chance to be good. New characters in there, new storyline, kind of. I mean, it's still going to be a Saw movie, but I think the reboot that they're doing has a chance maybe to pump some life back into that series, because that thing went off the rails quick. But that was the thing. The ending of Saw 1 was so good. There was never anything they could have done to top that, ever. Ever. I'm jealous of you, Sea-Dog. He says he's never seen Saw. Please watch Saw 1. Please watch Saw 1. The ending is amazing. The ending of Saw 1 is unbelievable. And everybody always says, oh, I knew, and then they say what happens at the end. No, you didn't. You're lying. No one knew that. No one knew. No one knew. Stop lying. Stop lying. Sea-Dog. Well, Sea-Dog, you can watch it during the day, and maybe you won't be so scared. How about that? Speaking of being scared. Yeah, good morning in that, though.
Happy Friday, Lou.
Happy Friday. How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. It sounded like you were getting on a roll. I was actually almost forgetting that I was on weight. Very entertaining stuff.
Well, listen, I was getting on a roll, and I said I better go ahead and bring him on, because the next thing I'll turn around and it'll be 9:15. I've done that before, and then I feel terrible. I feel terrible.
It's your show, man. You do whatever you want.
Well, what I want to do is add you onto the show right now. Is that cool?
Well, yeah, I'm cool with that. I appreciate that.
Okay, that's great news. This is Golden Blue Dude. I think most of you know who he is. If not, check him out. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a West Virginia fan by way of northwest South Carolina. So.
Yeah, close enough.
Right. Now,
yeah,
of course,
I live near Clemson. It's interesting.
Yeah, you live near Tatertown. So now, if West Virginia is God's country, how would you describe North Carolina?
Oh, man. The upstate of South Carolina is
South Carolina. Yes, sorry.
A perfect storm. No, it happens. To me, I think it's a perfect storm. I love being from West Virginia, but living there is hell. I'm not even going to lie. It's hell. Unless you have your own land and you're out in the boondocks. That's when it's heaven. But if you live near cities, it's hell. It really is. But the upstate of South Carolina...
Isn't everything in West Virginia in the boondocks, though?
No, it really isn't. Like Charleston, Huntington, the lower part of the state is definitely more civilized, I guess is the best way I could put it. But as far as like being out in the boondocks, getting in the southern part and, well, pretty much anywhere else besides Charleston and Huntington, yeah, you're going to be in the boondocks. Well, there's a stretch.
It sounds like what you're saying. It sounds like what you're saying is that the southern part of West Virginia is pretty good, pretty nice, but the closer you get to Pitt, the worse it gets.
Yeah, except for Morgantown. That's like a nice little bright spot.
Exactly, a diamond in the rough.
Yeah. It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
But Pitt. That Pittsburgh is just a very dirty, filthy city. Top 3 dirtiest cities, in my opinion, that I've been to is, I would say, 1 Pitt, 2 Cleveland, and a close 3rd Philadelphia.
Now, is there anybody in West Virginia that you're not related to?
Yeah, there's tons of people that I'm not related to in West Virginia.
Are you sure?
But we, I can't be 100% sure, I guess. But
are you on
pretty sure.
Ancestry.com?
No, I'm not.
I bet if you go to Ancestry.com, one of the first things it asks you, of course, is where you were born. I bet as soon as you type in West Virginia, just like millions of matches come up.
Yeah. Or it'll just pop up, you're screwed, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, I mean, on a different side of that, everybody knows everybody. Like, seriously. The other day, yesterday I was on Facebook talking to somebody about that A&M video I put out, and he knows my uncle in Hurricane, West Virginia, because that's where he used to live. So it's very strange.
It is strange.
Everybody knows everybody. If you've been to West Virginia and you've met some people, then I guarantee you, at least within 5 years, you'll know somebody that knew them in some form or fashion.
So, West Virginia, if the TV show Cheers was a state, it would be West Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where everybody knows your name.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what the crazy thing is? A lot of people don't realize this. The upstate of South Carolina is actually one of the biggest epicenters for the migration of West Virginians. I didn't know that until I actually had to do some research, because I was like, man, I'm seeing a lot of, West Virginia flags, West Virginia tags around here. I haven't seen that anywhere else. And it's a real thing. Near the Greenville, South Carolina area is like the biggest hub, I guess you could call it, of migrating West Virginia people.
Yes. Fact.
Pretty cool. We actually took over the there was a bar in Greenville, and it had different rooms for different fan bases. Well, the top fan base had this special room. The fan base that brought the most fans had this room, and Ohio State held it for the longest time, but West Virginia eventually overtook them and had the biggest number, so we got that room.
Well, that sounds like a pretty big point of pride.
Yeah, I like that. It was the room was pretty cool too, because there was it was the best TV, and there was like more than one of them. So it was a bragging point. Yeah, you could say that.
What's been going on your channel lately?
I got this one. All right, you already know that in the off season, it's kind of difficult whenever you're a sports YouTuber, especially college football related. So you try to think of stuff to almost be filler. Well, I came up with this one idea, and it's actually worked out pretty good. What I've done is I created a 130 FBS logo bracket. Every single logo in the FBS, I had my subscribers vote on it based on seeding in the conferences, all that stuff. And then I made videos voting round by round, and eventually we're going to crown the best logo in the nation, voted by the people on the videos.
Now, and this has started already?
Yes, we are in the round of 32,
right,
which in this tournament would be third round.
What seems to be doing better? Because we've had this argument on this channel before when it comes to helmets and uniforms. What seems to be doing better? The traditional, like there's some people that think Alabama is the best helmet in football. Some people think Penn State. These are pretty boring helmet designs, especially in modern times when you've seen a lot of people go to some crazy. What seems to be doing better? Like some of the crazier, like Oregon or Maryland type helmets, or are the more traditional Michigan, Penn State, Alabama, Notre Dame, are those helmets winning? Who seems to be winning here?
By far, it's not even close. By far, the crazy ones are winning. Georgia's already been knocked out. Ohio State's already been knocked out.
Wow.
Yeah, the traditional ones are being voted out early.
Okay.
Ohio State actually got obliterated by Boise State.
Makes sense.
Yep. It's whenever you do stuff like that and it's unpredictable like that,
Boise
it starts
State's
unfolding in ways you didn't think. It's crazy.
Boise State's not in the SEC, are they?
Boise State?
Yeah.
No.
Yet they still obliterated Ohio State. They're an honorary.
No.
Well, we'll give them honorary SEC status then.
That'll work. Yeah. Didn't where did Boise State's head coach go? Didn't he go to Auburn?
Yeah, he's down there. He's down there at the barn there.
Yeah.
On the
So they
plains.
they actually have a real life connection.
Yes, they do. Yes, that's why Boise State beat Ohio State.
That was the one that really did shock me because I have a lot of Ohio State subscribers. Everybody knows the Ohio State logo, but they got smashed in the voting by Boise State.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that debate has come up on this channel several times before, and not even on this channel. Like you're doing a bracket. There's been, like some of these websites or blogs will do like a helmet challenge sometimes, and it's always interesting to see like are people leaning more towards the more traditional. Like you have some teams that haven't changed their helmet in 100 years, and then you got, of course, other teams. Maryland and Oregon, I think, are the two like just most extreme examples, but there's plenty of others too. That have gone to, kind of more crazy looking helmets or whatever. Speaking of crazy, though, it's time for a Tennessee Vols 2022 recruiting update. I've got some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Now, unfortunately, the breaking news is that there is no news. After initially rising up a couple of spots to number 46 after signing a 4-star QB a couple of weeks ago that no one else wanted, Tennessee once again beginning their slow descent to the bottom. Still sitting at number 48 nationally and 13th within the SEC in recruiting. Your Tennessee Vols 2022 recruiting update. You think that's enough of that breaking news music, or should I play a little more?
I'd go about 10 seconds more.
That's what I was thinking. You did say 30 seconds more, right?
That'll work.
Okay. There you go. Your Tennessee Vols 2022 recruiting update, which of course is brought to you each and every week by Ballard's Salad Tossing Service, Alabama's #1 youth ministry. Shout out to Ballard Sports Media for sponsoring the Tennessee recruiting updates. Check out Ballard Sports Media on YouTube for all your salad tossing needs. Or if you just need to have hands laid on you. There you go.
That's a good nonprofit organization. People really need to get into that.
Right.
Oh, before I forget, earlier, because I've never seen True Bloods, and and you said you watched it, and you said somebody got screwed to death.
In this, well, I've always heard the same thing about True Blood, that it's basically a porno. It's just nothing but like half the show is sex, is what I would hear all the time, and that it's a good show, but if you're not into that, you wouldn't want to watch it or whatever. And I mean, the show came out. I don't even remember when the show came out and ended or whatever. But it's been a while ago. But I just had never seen it, and I started watching it. And they were right. They were right. About half of every episode is people having sex, people with people. vampires with vampires, people with vampires. And yeah, in the second episode, two people were having sex, and one of them, it was too much for one of them to handle.
Wow. What a way to go.
What a way to go. What a way to go.
Man.
Right. Yeah.
I heard that earlier. I was like, did I hear that right? I thought maybe you meant like somebody took a screwdriver to the temple of the skull or something, but the way you worded it, I was like, wait a minute. Somebody literally got screwed to death. Wow. That's a new one on me.
The thing with another thing that I didn't know about True Blood that's kind of interesting. It's something different than, I guess, other vampire movies or whatever. But the vampires in this movie aren't a secret. Like everyone knows they exist and they mingle in with normal people. Part of the storyline is that it's almost like a civil rights story. Like part of the storyline is that certain state governments have passed laws designating vampires as a protected class, kind of like they did African Americans, and then women, and then gays and stuff like it's sort of, there's some of that built in there too. And so vampires are just walking around in the grocery store like anybody else would be. You know, so I don't know. I didn't watch it forever and ever because I'm not into the whole vampire thing. But eventually you get to the end of Netflix or whatever, and you literally nothing else to watch. So I said, well, I'll give it a try. And I think it's 6 or 7 seasons long, so it's something that can keep me entertained for a while. And I started about a week ago, I'm on the last episode of season 1 now.
Are they like traditional vampires, like can't come out during the day, stuff like that? Do they have any weaknesses?
They can't come out during the day. They address they address some of the like vampire lore in one of the episodes in the beginning. Like one of them's asking one of the vampires, like, what about holy water? What about can you really not look in a mirror? Stuff like that. And they say that they came up with all those stories. None of them are true. They came up with all of that so that if they ever got accused of being a vampire and they didn't want to admit it, they could say, "Look, I'm not a vampire," and they could look in they could look in a mirror and say, "Look, I'm looking in the mirror and nothing's happening, so I'm not a vampire." So they made a lot of that stuff up. But the sunlight thing is true. The sunlight thing is true, and silver is true, and the stake through the heart is true.
Okay.
But some of the other stuff they made up as a way to hide. But before, because in the show, these laws are just starting to get passed. So vampires are starting to come out more, reveal themselves more. But for hundreds of years, they had to hide because if it was found out that you were a vampire, you were hunted down and killed and all these kinds of things. And so they made up these stories about looking in a mirror, splashing them with holy water, stuff like that. They made all that stuff up so that if they ever got accused of being a vampire, they could say, "Listen, throw holy water on me and see if anything happens." And so they invented those as a way to escape if they ever got accused of being a vampire. Yeah. But it's a pretty good story. It's a pretty good show. Yeah, it's a pretty good show.
Well, that's why I asked, because I watched Twilight and I hated those movies, not just because of the storylines, but the very first stinking movie, they can come out in the light, sort of, but they glisten like diamonds. Bullshit. I was like, what? Like that immediately. Like it could have been a great story afterwards, and I would have missed it. But that right there, I was like, this is just stupid.
Yeah.
I did not get into it at all. And plus, all the women were mad because they read all the books, and they were like, this is not even close to being as good as what the books were. So, it was just, train wreck.
Yeah, I mean, True Blood's not Breaking Bad or The Sopranos. I mean, it's not up there, but it's worth watching if you're in one of those moods where you want to watch some kind of a series, but and you feel like you can't find anything, and it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch it with your kids around. Not just because, and it's pretty. Some of it's pretty gory too. But it's not even really that. But there is there's a lot of The sex scenes are about as close to porn as you can get without being porn, and there's a lot of them.
I gotcha. Am I the only one that hated the ending to The Sopranos?
Are you the only one? No. If you liked the ending, you might be the only one that liked it.
Yeah, that was I didn't understand the ending at all.
Well, it wasn't meant to be understood.
It kind of reminded me of. Did you ever watch? What's it called? My Name Is Earl.
No.
It's a good redneck show from back in the day, and the ending of that is like there was supposed to be another season, so the ending of it leaves you on a cliffhanger, and it's never fulfilled.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's how Sopranos is too. Yeah, and
Yep.
it was made even more disappointing by how good. Like, if you take the last 5 minutes of the of the final episode, the first 4 minutes of the last 5 minutes were amazing. The build up and the song "Don't Stop Believing," and they're all showing up at the diner, and they're showing the guy sitting at the bar, and then the guy walks into the bathroom, and if you know anything about mafia history or whatever, The Godfather, in Godfather 1, the gun is hidden in the bathroom, and you're thinking all this stuff in your head like, oh my God, what's about to happen? And you know the show's been on for 55 minutes, so you know you're watching the very end, and it builds and builds and builds and builds, and then right before what should be the ending, it's like it just cuts off. You know, boy, I mean, I thought the damn power went out or the cable went out. You know, I was watching it live. I was hooked on Sopranos. Was the last show I ever watched like live when it came out. Like, I had to be home every Sunday at 9:00, and I thought my cable went out right at the end of the final episode. I jumped up off the couch and was resetting the cable box and all this kind of rigmarole. I was so damn mad I couldn't see straight.
You hit the nail on the head on that. I was like, so is this, I was rewatching the title and I was like, is this a part one or, what, the ending just doesn't make sense because it's like something is about to happen and they just are like, nope, we're ending it right now.
Yeah, very disappointing.
I've never seen a show end like that. And I've seen a lot of bad endings, but I've never seen a show just completely go to black screen right in the middle of like, should be the best climactic scene, in a while. Like I was expecting a major, awesome, like, man, this is it. This is what we've watched the entire show for. And then all of a sudden, black screen. That was heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie. That one got me.
Yeah.
I was mad.
Sopranos is the best series with the worst ending.
Yes.
I mean, there's some other endings. Yeah. There's some other endings that maybe weren't great, but at least you had an ending. That's the problem. It's not even that it's a bad ending. It's that you feel like there's no ending. It feels like they cut out the last minute of the final episode, and that's what pissed people off. It's not that it wasn't. If you have an ending and some people don't like it and some do, and you argue forever about it, that's fine. People are still arguing about the end of Game of Thrones. They hated who became king, and the last season feels rushed, and you just hear all these stuff. But there was an ending. There's at least an ending to argue about. That's the problem with The Sopranos. There's no ending. There was no ending.
Yep. Did you watch Sons of Anarchy?
Oh, yeah.
That ending to that I didn't like. Yeah. But I didn't like it, but it was still an ending. Like, okay, well, that wraps it up. Let's move on to something else. With The Sopranos, and maybe that was the point of it. We're still talking about it like, I still feel like it's not done.
Let's see what the comments have to say about this. James Gandolfini is dead, so Tony is dead. The movie they're making, his son plays a younger version of Tony. James Gandolfini.
I did not know that.
James Gandolfini's real life son is playing a young Tony Soprano in the upcoming Sopranos prequel movie that's due out this fall.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will watch that.
Captain Tripp says, I thought the ending was great. Sea-Dog says, Game of Thrones ending outraged me. Yeah. It did seem rushed, and then a lot of people didn't like who became king at the end. I'm not going to say who it was in case there's people that are watching it now or haven't watched it yet, but people didn't like who they chose as king at the end. And I thought it was
I never got into that show, but I do know that the ending, it made local. I listen to sports radio. I actually listened to 105.5 The Roar with the guy y'all were talking about. But even in the morning, whenever it happened, they were talking about it. I was like, man, that must have been bad or something.
Mike Vick says, everyone who liked the show hated the ending. I think he's talking about Sopranos. Robert says, he got killed. What's the deal? Well, you don't know that.
Exactly.
I mean, the show ends with him sitting at the
we don't know nothing.
diner eating scrambled eggs or whatever, or pancakes or whatever he was eating. So,
yeah.
So I don't know.
They should have done like a Goodfellas type ending. Not necessarily copy it, but something in that realm.
Everybody goes to jail.
Well, no, the main character, where he's in witness protection.
Right, and everyone else goes to jail.
And everyone else goes to jail.
Yeah,
Yes.
it turns them all in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alita
His
says
wife
hashtag.
flushed the Coke.
Alita says hashtag Team True Blood. Good morning. Good morning.
Hey,
man.
one thing I did learn from Goodfellas: never flush the Coke. I learned that lesson from Goodfellas. Never flush the Coke.
The ending of Goodfellas it has that huge build up too, kind of like the Sopranos, where he's got to cook a big meal at home, so he's stirring the sauce, and then he gets his son to stir the sauce so he can go drop the cocaine off all over town and get rid of it, and the helicopters following him around, and that whole thing too was a wild ending.
Oh, by the way, he's ripped the whole time doing it.
Right. Yeah. Good morning.
I think Joe Pesci was an underrated actor.
I love Joe Pesci in gangster movies. I don't. He doesn't do anything for me in any other type of movie. To me,
What about Home Alone?
he's well. They could have got anybody to play a bumbling idiot, I guess, in that. I mean,
True.
But,
True.
but I did like his character in that movie, though. But to me, Joe Pesci is like the epitome of somebody who got typecast early on, and he's so good at it. You know, because he did it in Casino, he did it in Goodfellas, and those are just two iconic movies. I mean, if you walk up to anybody on the street and say, name a Joe Pesci movie, they're going to say one of those two movies.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
And I like how they put the little man complex on him. Like, when he's a
Right.
gangster, like, because he's a smaller dude, he acts he has to be extra violent.
Yeah, JC, that's a great, that scene, the Am I Funny to You scene, you know, when they're all sitting at the table and, what the fuck is so funny about me? and then he jumps on him at the end
Am
and
I here
starts
to
choking him.
amuse you?
Right. Just that's an all-time great scene. And the other one is Scarface, when he gets kicked out of the restaurant, the say goodnight to the bad guy scene. When he's leaving the restaurant and he's turning around and yelling at all the uppity people in there, you need a bad guy like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, hey, there goes the bad guy.
And hell, even wrestling made a character, Razor Ramon, straight after the Scarface character.
Hey,
I mean, that character resonated.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
Yeah. Scarface was a great.
With the toothpick.
Great movie.
Yeah, it was. And that actually had a really good ending. He was eating them shots like it was nothing until he got a hole blow through the middle of his torso. But man, until that, probably 50 cal, I don't know. He was eating those other shots.
Michael Gill, thank you for the super chat. He says, "What's up, brother? I'm catching a rare live morning show. Have a super chat and go Dogs." Well, Michael Gill, you're in luck because that puts you firmly in the lead, sir. For the pick the picture for next week. And of course, you're a Georgia fan, which I definitely don't mind because I'm tired of looking at these West Virginia pictures too. No offense, Gold and Blue dude, but this guy Mike Reiser. This guy's one. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Never mind, Michael Gill. Never mind. Mike Reiser.
You might have to put him on a leave for a week.
Mike Reiser, thank you for hitting the PayPal. You are in the lead. You're in the lead. He says, "You're absolutely right, sir. The Pitt jokes never stop because, well, that's the point. Pitt is a joke. Hashtag only one 10-win season since 1981. It took me a while to read that hashtag because they're all lowercase letters. When I do a hashtag that with multiple words in it, I like to capitalize the first letter of each word. It just makes it easier to read, but I was somehow managed to figure this one out, even though it's one long run-on thing with all lowercase letters. Hashtag only one 10-win season since 1981. What do you call, here you go, Gold and Blue, man. What do you call a female Pitt fan with 2 brain cells? Pregnant. And they got one each.
That was pretty good.
That is a good.
Good.
I'm gonna try to remember that one because that one's not specific to Pitt. You could change the team there and make that a joke about anybody. So I'm gonna, if you don't mind, Mike Reiser, I don't know if I don't think I've ever done this before, but I'm gonna try to remember that one to steal for my own purposes, if that's okay.
Yeah, I like that one, and he's actually right. I did a video about West Virginia and Pitt, basically our history since the new stadium was built. And to be honest with you, I knew that we had been better than Pitt since then. But, man, we have been way, and I mean way better than Pitt since 1980. I mean, it's not even close. They have sucked for real. That's not just, that's not seeing through Gold and Blue glasses. That's facts. They have sucked.
Slim, yeah, I was specifically referring to stealing Mike Reiser jokes. I think I may have stole a joke or two from you or borrowed it temporarily. Mike Reiser and Slim Shady Canes, you could take. They have told enough college football jokes over the years in the comment section on this channel. Someone could collect all the different jokes they've told and literally make like a college football joke book.
They need to do that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, the two of them could collaborate or maybe make it a website or whatever, because I don't know. Does anyone buy books anymore? I don't know. I know then you have books on tape or and then ebooks though. And you see these people out there at the pool reading their Kindle and that.
Yeah, I would definitely plug that on my YouTube channel as well, like easily.
Right. Talk
I'd
is
probably
Pitt.
buy one. To be honest with you.
Now, Talk is Pitt says LMAO, and West Virginia still has 0 titles. Marshall has more.
That guy, he keeps bragging about his 1970 titles that nobody ever remembers, and saying Marshall has more titles. Yeah, in FCS. So that's a nonsense comment. He just saw that we own them in the past 30 years. Like, if he wants to go back in history and talk about their titles instead of living in the here and now, which nobody cares about what happened in 1970.
No,
So,
no.
It doesn't even make sense to me.
1970, okay, but 1980, yes. That now 1980 does matter.
Yeah, that is the cutoff. You are correct.
Fact.
I will give you that.
That's
yes.
a fact. I'm not going to put up with any 1980 disrespect in the comment section either. I better not see a bunch of people typing 1980. Better not.
Well, that was the year that we
that.
built our new stadium. So yes, the current history starts at 1980, so that counts.
Facts. Michael Gill. Michael Gill.
I did a video on that.
My God, sir. Michael Gill, thank you. Very generous of you. He says, post my picture. I would go out on a limb here and say you're most likely going to win here. Michael Gill says he's not going to be outdone. Not this week. Not this week, he says. You are currently in the lead. Thank you. And Mike Reiser, it's not that I don't want you to win again, because I really don't, you could win 100 times in a row. But you've given enough, honestly, Mike Reiser, over the last few weeks. So don't try to one-up that because that's already way too much. So please don't try to one-up that. And again, it's not because I don't want you to win. I wish everybody could win every week, but you've given enough, Mr. Reiser, over the last few weeks. So I can't tell you what to do, but you've done plenty for me over the last few weeks. So Michael Gill there. Michael Gill, at the end of the show, if you're still on top, and I'm assuming you will be, what you'll do is you'll just figure out what picture it is you want me to use right here, where this. How about Mike Reiser digging up this Jeff Hostetler picture too? I didn't even know he played for West Virginia. I had no idea. I didn't remember that.
Yep, he did.
But yeah, just figure out what picture you want, Michael Gill, if you're still in the lead at the end of the show. And sometime over the weekend, today, Monday morning, basically anytime before 8 a.m. Monday morning, just email me whatever picture you would want up here if you're the one that ends up winning at the end of the show, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure that you will. So there you go. But I'll make for sure as the show moves along here. Golden Blue Man, let me ask you this. What's your favorite ethnic food? Not the specific food, but is it Chinese? Is it Mexican? Is it German? Is it Korean? Whatever. Italian.
It would have to be Mexican, with Japanese a close second.
Yes, Japanese a close second. When you eat Japanese, do you always go to the hibachi place where they cook it in front of you, or do you ever go to places that just serve it to go?
Most of the time, it's the hibachi where they cook it in front of you. Every once in a while, I guess it depends on what time of the year, how busy it is, all that stuff. But most of the time, definitely, I like the show. Even though you know what's coming, it's always fun.
I like Japanese food, but I like it more. It's the experience of going. I agree with you. Now, I have gone. There's a couple of places here in town that do Japanese to go, and I have gotten it before. But Japanese is a lot better. If you get to see the show and even then, like. Some of the hibachi chefs or whatever make it more entertaining than others or whatever. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah. So you said Mexican is your favorite, Japanese is your second favorite.
Yes.
Have you ever eaten Korean food?
I have not. I simply can't find a place close enough to my location. And there probably is one now, and I just haven't looked it up. But I've never really thought about it, to be honest with you.
You ever been to a Brazilian steakhouse?
Oh my gosh, yes. I forgot about that. If you haven't been to a Brazilian steakhouse, you need to go. That is an experience. It's not like your regular steakhouse. They come around with meats, and they just start chopping. And you tell them when to stop. And there's 20 different meats they bring by you. And you can say, no, I don't want any. Or they just start chopping and you tell them when to stop.
Right. They basically have a cart on wheels that they roll around the restaurant the whole time you're there, and it's got a bunch of different meat on it. And some of them some of it they cut with a sword. Have you seen this?
Yes.
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 And it's basically just giant hunks of meat, and they'll say we've got pork chops and chicken and roast beef and steak, and but you know what do you want? And you say I'll take some steak, and they take a sword out and they lop you off a piece of steak and they put it on your plate. And you eat it, and then they're constantly coming around. It's all you can eat. It's all you can eat meat, basically.
It is.
I mean, you can order your side dishes. You can order what your vegetables or your salad or whatever, and they bring that out. But then they just have the people walking around with these huge chunks of meat. I've never been to one. My kids have been. I've never been to one. But that would be on my list. I would like to go. I would enjoy that. I need to go to one of those. There's not one here. There's one in Atlanta. I'm sure they have them in a lot of big cities, but there's never been one here. So I've never been to one, but that does sound pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you'll like that. And if you want to, quick what to expect, basically all what you said. And the thing is, whenever they seat you, I don't know if they're all exactly like this, but so you're sitting at your table, and the ones that I've been to, they have this thing where you flip over, one side is green and one side is red. You keep it on red when you're not ready. You flip it over to green, telling them, hey, I'm ready for the meat, and then that's when they start bringing around the cart. So it's not just like they're randomly going around, just to everybody in a train line saying, hey, you want this, you want that, tell me when to stop. It's whoever's thing is flipped over to the correct side.
Oh, sorry. I got caught reading the comments. Somebody says German food is not that tasty. It's not spicy. Well, it's definitely not that spicy. It's not intended to be spicy, but
very earthy.
Not sure where you've got your German food, but I've had some amazing German food. Now, I was my in-laws were German, and so I had a lot of home cooked, like original German. It's like the difference between it's like the difference between eating lunch at KFC and eating a Southern cooked meal at home. That or whatever. It's always better at home, but I've had some pretty good German food.
Don't they make like a lot of stews and stuff like that?
Yeah, and then schnitzel, which is basically a fried pork chop.
Yeah.
But the fried pork chops over there, which they call schnitzel, sometimes they're seasoned, sometimes they're not, because German pork chops are meant to be eaten with gravy on them, and they have 4 or 5 different. They have a red gravy, a white gravy, a mushroom gravy. They have a bell pepper and onion gravy, like the German restaurant in town that I go to a lot. When you order you order a fried schnitzel, and then there's like 5 or 6 different gravies, and you tell them which one you want on it or whatever. So maybe I don't know if maybe you ate a schnitzel somewhere without any gravy on it. It's possible it didn't have a lot of flavor, if that's what you're saying, because they get the flavor from the gravy they put on it. But do you eat sauerkraut, Golden Blue Man?
No, I tried it one time and about tore my throat up.
I love sauerkraut. It's good. I'll tell you what's really good. You buy a couple of really big pork chops, bone in. It's got to be bone in, because that's where a lot of the flavor comes from. It's got to be bone in pork chops. Cook the pork chops on the stove in a pan. You cook it for a few minutes, flip it over, cook the other side, and then you pour a thing of sauerkraut into the pan, and you turn it down to low, and you let the pork chops marinate in the sauerkraut for 30 minutes or so. Then you eat those pork chops in the sauerkraut. That's good. That might be my favorite German meal, actually. It's really good, really good. But if you don't if you don't like sauerkraut, you're not gonna like it. But and it's easy. You can make that yourself at home too. You just go to the store and buy you a couple of bone-in pork chops and a thing of sauerkraut or whatever. But yeah, it's really good. And
so let me ask you this: what besides Jaeger, is there any other type of German liquor that's really, really good?
German liquor? That's the only. Now ouzo is real popular, but it's not German. But it's popular amongst the Germans. I think it's Greek actually. Ouzo.
I got you.
And of course, schnapps. Schnapps is the thing for Germans. You know, peach schnapps, watermelon schnapps. I mean, they have they have a flavor for every. You know, there's a schnapps of every flavor imaginable.
I never did like schnapps, but I did like Jaeger. That's some good stuff.
There's a shot they do called Ratzaputz is the name of it. It is the worst. It has to be what gasoline tastes like. It is the worst.
Oh man!
And I think it's like really strong, or something. Maybe it's like a Everclear. Here, it's like that.
Oh
yeah, but they do shots of it.
Yeah.
Well, we know about moonshine around here in the South, right? That's been people have been moonshining around here forever. In Germany, everybody makes their own schnapps.
Wow.
And it's just like the people here who make their own moonshine. If you've ever known anybody that makes their own moonshine, their moonshine is the best ever. You know, you got to come try my watermelon moonshine. My watermelon moonshine was the best moonshine you've ever had. You go over there, you try their watermelon moonshine, and it tastes like gasoline. And then the guy down the road says, "Well, I've got raspberry moonshine, and it is the best moonshine you've ever had." You go down to his house, you try his raspberry moonshine, and it tastes like gasoline. But everyone swears they have the best. In Germany, it's like that with schnapps. Everyone has a basement, and everyone makes their own schnapps down in their basement, and everyone makes the best schnapps you've ever had. In every house you go to, and every schnapps you try, regardless of what flavor they tell you it is, tastes exactly the same, and it's 93 octane. That's what it tastes like.
Yes. There's only been one liquor that I literally could not get down. I could not swallow it. I knew a friend who had his dad made moonshine, and he said, "Come try my peach flavored moonshine." Well, I've tried moonshine. I mean, I know what to expect, all that stuff, but this, man, it's like drinking, like you said, gasoline. But if there's ever a taste of actual fire, that would be it. If you could capture the taste of a flame, an actual fire flame,
right,
that would be it.
Yeah, Robert Holloway says in South Georgia we have the best blackberry moonshine. I guarantee you if I go down there and try it, it's going to taste like the same 93 octane peach moonshine that I've had in Tennessee, or the same 93 octane watermelon moonshine that I had in South Carolina, or whatever else. But everyone swears their moonshine is the best moonshine ever. I don't know. That's
what's
weird.
The criteria? What makes theirs the best? That's my question.
They made it
from everybody else's? Because they made it. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. They made it. Therefore, it's the best. Mommy's Toys. Thank you. Now, this is. Now, I need to know. Mommy's Toys. Now, did you change your screen name and you used to be someone else, or are you new? Because I just noticed you in the comment section yesterday, and I would like to know the story of this name. Now, what do you think, Golden Blue Man? The screen name Mommy's Toys. Now, what is he referring to?
Mommy's Toys.
What kinds of toys would a mommy have?
Well, I think we're all, thinking the obvious.
The battery-operated toys? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just going to flat out say it. We're all thinking it.
Right. Mommy's Toys. And I asked this yesterday and didn't see the answer. If you have I don't know if you have a YouTube channel. If you have a YouTube channel, and it's about Mommy's Toys, please, first of all, let me know. And then I'd love to have you on the show to discuss that your YouTube channel here. I'm all about bringing attention to other people's channels, or rising tide raises all ships. in case you weren't aware. I would love to have you on and talk about your toys, but I don't know who you are.
I'm all about mommy's toys now.
But they want to know what about the Patreon stream this month. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet for the Patreon stream this month. So if any of you Patreon people have any suggestions about something I could stream on Patreon this month, I'm open to suggestions or ideas. Is there anything big going on this month, like in the world? When's the Kentucky Derby?
That's
usually in May, isn't it?
But I think it is in May or June. Late May or early June.
It seems like it's this weekend. It seems like it's near Mother's Day usually. So I don't know. Is it this weekend or next weekend, or I honestly don't know. And I know that race only lasts. That thing only lasts a couple of minutes, but you know, they have a big build up to it. I could probably do an hour or two stream for that. I do like watching the Kentucky Derby. The Kentucky Derby to me is like,
you know what you should do?
Like, I don't watch NASCAR, but I always watch some of the Daytona 500 or something. So I do watch the Kentucky Derby. The Kentucky Derby was last weekend.
Yep.
Well, so much for that. I guess I don't. I don't watch the Kentucky. How did I not know that?
I'm right there with you, man. That one, yeah, yeah. But what about the next Triple Crown race?
Yeah, I don't ever watch those. B Beans says vibrator sales have skyrocketed over the last year.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
I should have bought stock in that. I should have seen that coming. Man. Sometimes you look back and you're like, common sense. Common sense. I would have made a ton of money.
Well, so the Patreon stream won't be the Kentucky Derby. So,
nope.
I'll make, you know what I'll do? I'll make a post over on the Patreon page today. Looking for suggestions on what y'all want me to do a Patreon stream on this month. Because I mean, I'm open to anything. I'm pretty flexible for the most part. I mean, I can't put my feet behind
one of your patrons. I haven't done that.
I can't put my feet behind my head or anything like that, but I'm pretty flexible in terms of when I do the. If I tried to put my feet behind my head, someone would have to come over here and get me up off the floor afterwards.
You know, my YouTube channel has taken a turn that I did not see coming. So a lot of people don't realize the reason behind me doing videos every day is my brothers told me it wasn't possible. Well, I'm stubborn. I'll flat out admit it. I'm stubborn. If you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it. But the turn that it's taken is if I don't have a video out by, 10 or 11 o'clock, my subscribers start blowing me up. Are you okay? Do we need to call the cops? It really happens.
Now,
so that's a turn that I didn't see coming.
Well, have you considered taking a break from YouTube?
Not really. I mean, it hasn't really. I guess if I sat down and thought about it, I might. But
it's a popular trend right now.
Yeah, I noticed that. TikTok did, and then Ballard did.
Of course, I took a 3-day break back in the beginning of April, and then TikTok Chess Hall took a break of a week, and now Ballard is currently taking a break from YouTube for a week. Who's
so
my
he took
favorite?
A break from
What? What'd you say?
He took a break from being late or not showing up.
Ballard? No, he's pretty consistent on that.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Someone asked, and I apologize, I missed the name. Who's my favorite character so far in True Blood? I like Jason Stackhouse, and it's not the reason you think. It's not because he slept with every woman in town. He. I don't know if he's that dumb in real life. I'm guessing no, but he plays a great idiot. Like, the guy is so clueless about everything. He's the funniest character. It's not a comedy, but you can't help but laugh at some of the things he does and says. He's just so. First of all, the show takes place in the backwoods of a Louisiana swamp somewhere. So it's, you know, they're it wasn't the intention of the show to try to convince you that these people are really smart. I just put it that way. But he's the dumbest of them all, and it's not even close. And you can't help but laugh with some of the things he does and says. And for some reason, he's slept with every hot woman in town. But the guy, I mean, I don't know. I don't think the guy can tie his shoes. You know, he's dumb as he's dumber than a bag of dead batteries. But he's hilarious to me. Lafayette is good too. Jerome, Lafayette's good too. The last episode that I watched, which is the next to the last episode of season 1, he sees that politician on TV that he has that relationship with, and he's on TV saying how much he hates gays and hates vampires and hates all these people, and he gets all pissed off, and he puts a suit on and goes and confronts him at one of his campaign events. That was the last episode I saw, yeah. But yeah, I like him too. He's good too. Yeah, there's some good characters in that show. There's some good characters in that show.
I might check that out. You're making it sound appealing. Like you're doing a good sell job. You're doing a good sell job.
Yeah. B Bean, not a bad of dead batteries, a bag. Yes. Jason Stackhouse from True Blood, dumber than a bag of dead batteries. Yes. Dumber than a junk drawer.
That had to be clarified. Hey, did you say that? Did you say earlier that Saw was putting out a reboot movie?
Yeah, and I believe Samuel L. Isn't it Samuel L. Jackson that's in it? The comment section will tell us. I think Samuel L. Jackson is in it, and there's another big name guy in it too. Is it? It's not Mark Wahlberg, is it?
Wow.
No, who is it? Anyway, but yeah, it's Samuel L. Jackson. Let me look it up because now I don't want to. Lou lied. Lou said Samuel Jackson was.
I really hope that they don't do what. Did you see the reboot a while back that Friday the 13th did? Not Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street with that little dude.
No, I gave up on those movies when I turned 12 or 13.
Earl Haley or something. Well, I was a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan, so I was pumped about that one. But that was awful. They killed it. I was very disappointed because they did a Freddy versus Jason movie. I think it was in like 1, 2, or 3, somewhere around there, and that was really good. So I thought the reboot of Nightmare on Elm Street was going to be good, and it was terrible.
You said Freddy.
Awful.
You said Freddy versus Jason was really good.
It's not like that.
Freddy versus Jason was really good. You said.
Do what? I thought it was.
No. Here's the trailer for the new Saw movie.
What do you got there?
Oh, it's just my wife, Emma. This is my son, Charlie.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
While it lasts.
Nothing happier than the wife of a new detective.
Emma's cool, man. She's different. You don't know my
See, I got it wrong already. It's Chris Rock.
wife.
You can give a woman 600 Tuesdays. It ain't worth 3 Saturday nights.
How much money you got? A lot. How many problems you got? A lot. How many people that doubted? A lot.
All available units, officer down.
Pray that you flop.
Detective Banks en route. Whoever did this has another motive. They're targeting cops.
This shit's gonna go sideways fast.
Somebody's out there pulling all this.
Now, that said, this is coming out this May. I'm going to check on that when this is over because, you know, a lot of movies have been pushed back now. So this might not be coming out in May. If it is, though, I'll be in the theater to see this one unless it's coming out on HBO the same day. But I don't think it is because only Paramount movies are coming out on HBO, and this is not a Paramount movie. But so I'll check on the end if this is still coming out in May. But who's that? Who is that right there? Gold and Blue Man. Who is that on the screen?
Hold on.
Let me give you a hint.
do you speak it?
I don't know.
You don't know who that is? That's Samuel L. Jackson. Uncle Lou was right.
Oh. I'm not seeing it on my screen because whenever I call, see, I'm calling on my phone. That's what I watch your show on. So,
You want to play games,
yeah, I
motherfucker?
wasn't seeing that.
I have to rewind that.
You want to play games, motherfucker? You want to play games, motherfucker?
Instant classic line.
Yeah, so the first Saw movie was amazing. They got increasingly less watchable after that. I mean, I think they've made 5 or 6 of these things now. This one looks good to me. This one looks legitimately good to me. And I don't know if I'm getting tricked because it's got Sam Jackson and Chris Rock in it. If it's a trick, I'm going to fall for it. No doubt.
It's a trap.
It might be a trap, but I'm going to... now, that said it was coming out May 30th. Let me Google that and make sure that's still the day. No, May 15th.
Wow.
Let me make sure.
Wow. And you would hope that they wouldn't sign up for something bad, you know?
Right.
You hope that it's a good movie because it is Samuel L. Jackson and Chris Rock. So,
well, Samuel L. Jackson
their integrity's on the line here.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson did do Snakes on a Plane, so.
I thought that was a decent movie.
You thought wrong.
I'm sticking to it. Decent. Not good, decent.
This says Friday, May 14th.
Wow.
Which is one now.
Yeah, I'm going to be checking that out.
Friday, May 14th. That's one day after what? What's the day before May 14th?
What day of the week is May 14th?
I'm not asking for the day of the week. Just what day comes before May 14th?
May 13th.
Yes. And what's the significance of that day?
May 13th?
Yes.
Should I know this?
I think everyone should know it. It's Uncle Lou's birthday.
Dadgummit. Oh, crap. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Uncle Lou's birthday, May 13th. So for my birthday, I'm taking myself to see that Saw movie. Facts.
There you go, man. That's a good one.
Alita says Pulp Fiction, which, of course, is all-time classic. When he points that gun at that guy and reads the Bible verse, that's one of my favorite scenes of all time. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyrannies of evil men. And he shoots the guy in the head. That's great.
Yep. Yeah.
Alita, don't you want to go see
really
Saw
good,
with me
actually.
for my birthday? That'd be amazing. I think you should strongly consider it.
What was your star rating for the Mortal Kombat movie? Because I haven't gotten to see it yet, but I really want to.
4 out of 5 lose, and I was
Awesome.
I was surprised because I had no expectations heading into that movie because of how bad the other Mortal Kombat movies have been. This Mortal Kombat movie was great. I thought he did a great job.
You know what
I
they
thought
did?
it was legitimately a good movie. I think you could watch that movie, not have any idea what Mortal Kombat video games were. I think you could still watch that movie and think it was a good movie. That's how good it was.
The biggest mistake that the first movies made was their rating. With the PG rating, you can't do a Mortal Kombat or even 13.
This ain't
if you're
PG,
gonna do
buddy.
a Mortal Kombat movie, it has to be an R.
This ain't PG, buddy. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes.
I mean, Liu Kang turns into a dragon and bites a guy in half. And this ain't PG. So,
Good.
just saying. It's a great. Alita says, yeah, let's do it. Okay, great. I'm going to see the Saw movie the day after my birthday, for my birthday. That's what I'm doing.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It counts.
And I'm gonna get the biggest tub of popcorn they have. The one I mean, the one that comes in a barrel.
You know, I do that, and every time, like, whenever I go to the movies, and, like, I love popcorn. I do. And every time I get, like, the large or whatever, and I never can finish it. Even with the soda, washing down the saltiness and all that, I can never finish it. And I always think I'm gonna, but I never do.
Well, most of the time when I go to the movies, it's with either one or both of my kids, and we do finish the big thing up. In fact, there's been times because they'll refill it for you for free because, like you said, most people don't eat that much anyway. But when I go with all three of my kids, we usually finish it and end up getting a refill. To be honest,
but that's the crazy thing. Like I got, the story. I got 4 kids, 2 from a previous marriage, 2 from this marriage, and they always say, we're going to do it this time. But think about this, Luke. Between 6 people, we still can't finish the biggest size popcorn. How's that possible?
Well, sir, you weigh 80 pounds. I've seen you.
Yeah, but there's 5 other people.
Well, they probably weigh 30 pounds if they came from you. You know what I mean? So I'm actually not surprised.
My stepson, though, he's a big boy. He's already 6'2".
Popcorn. Slim Shady, thank you for the super chat. He says, fun idea for dealing with the Gumps. Take a shot every time they mention 16 titles. You'll need all the booze you can get to get through that conversation. Yeah, no doubt.
Alcohol poisoning.
Lizard Circus, thank you for the super chat. He says, good morning, Lou. Finally got my hip replacement surgery date, July 12th. I'll be in recovery for 6 weeks. Send fat chicks and crawfish, please. The fat chicks I can probably help you with. The crawfish, you're on your own. I don't mess with mud bugs. I just don't. So you're going to have to find someone else to get you your crawfish. I can probably get you a steady supply of fat chicks, though. So just let me know how many you need, and I'll get right on that.
Crawfish is good, though.
Thank you guys for the for the super chats. Jason says, going to see Mortal Kombat today. Should I see it in IMAX or no? I don't know. I don't think there's very many movies worth paying extra to see in IMAX. It's kind of a gimmick to me. I watched it at home because it came out on HBO the same day it came out in the theater. And like I said, I didn't have very high expectations. I have to really want to see a movie to go spend $100 at the movie theater. I'm just being honest. I have to really want to see the movie. If not, I'll either wait for it to come out, or in the case of these Paramount movies, they're coming out on HBO the same day they're released in the theater. That's what happened with Kong, which was terrible, by the way. And that's what happened with Mortal Kombat. So I watched it at home. I didn't go to the theater at all. But very rarely is an IMAX movie worth it to me. Alita says, best popcorn ever.
I've never been to an IMAX movie.
Now, I think I've told this story on here before, but I don't know if you heard it or not, Golden Blue Man, or you, Alita. But when the movie theaters were closed for a long time and they finally opened back up at the end of last year, I went to the movie theater, Evans Cinemas here in town. I walked in. I went to the concession stand. I bought a large popcorn for $18. I walked out. I got in my car and drove home and watched a movie, whatever. I don't even remember what movie I watched at home, and ate movie theater popcorn. It is that good.
That's a good idea, actually.
The people looked at me like I was nuts. Idea. Where's your ticket? What? I don't know. What ticket? Here's $20. Give me my I want popcorn. I mean, I was in there shaking like a drug addict. You know what I'm saying?
Had to have your fix.
Right. Been a year. Yeah. I've had no movie theater popcorn. You know?
Do you add butter, and if so, how much?
Oh,
that's my favorite part.
This is what I tell them. Lady, fill the bucket up halfway with popcorn and then drown it in butter. Then fill it the rest of the way up with popcorn and then drown it in butter again. Yes.
Well, our movie theater, it actually has a butter pump. Like, you can literally put as much butter in your popcorn as you want.
Well, the theater I went to get this popcorn doesn't have that. There's another theater in town that does. The Riverwatch, the newest theater has that. But when I went, when the theaters first opened, those things were closed because they didn't want 500 people touching the popcorn. They didn't want 500 people touching the butter dispenser because of Corona.
I gotcha.
So you had to get it. You had to hand it behind the desk and let them do it. And I had a lady with a glove on or whatever, and blah blah blah. Maybe that's changed now. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, there's nothing like movie theater popcorn. That's just a fact. Back to this ethnic food thing, Golden Blue Dude, because I had something I wanted to ask you, and this is for the comments. I'm going to tell you a brief story here, and then I just want to know what pops into your head when I tell you the end of this story here. So I was talking to someone else about foods, and Korean food came up. I've never eaten Korean food. There's a few Korean restaurants here in town that I know of. There's like a Korean barbecue place, a couple of other places, whatever. I've just never been, not for any particular reason. I just never been. And the only Korean foods I even know of is the Korean barbecue, because that's literally the name of the place, Korean barbecue. So I'm assuming Korean barbecue is a thing. And I hear people talk about kimchi a lot. I don't know what it is. I hear that when people talk about Korean food. So I was saying I've never eaten Korean food. If I were to try it, what should I try? Should it be the Korean barbecue? Should it be the kimchi? And they said no. You need to try like this beef bowl thing or whatever it was called. And I looked it up and it did look pretty good. And I said, well, where's the best place in town to go and get good Korean food? Guess what they told me? They said, you have to go to this. You have to go to this place on. I think it was either Peach Orchard Road or Deansbridge Road, which is south side of town here. You have to go to this place on Deansbridge Road or whatever road called Happy House. Now, what do you think when I say that? What?
I think there's a happy ending to your meal.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I guess dessert is free at that place. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Happy House.
Wow. You think Deshaun Watson eats there?
Does Deshaun Watson eat at the Happy House? Yes. Facts.
That's what I thought. I had a feeling.
So, yes, the best Korean restaurant in town is the Happy House.
Well,
do you think
now you're going to answer the question. Do you think
it's all you can eat?
I do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then some.
Right.
Did you ever go?
I have not been yet. No.
Well, you need to go and tell us the story.
Someone should take me, shouldn't they?
They should. Yeah, I agree. For your birthday.
Yeah. Or for any time, really. But yeah, someone definitely should take me to the Happy House.
But for your first experience, it needs to be for your birthday.
Right. Now, anybody that comes over here to eat is leaving happy. I can tell you that.
What you got going on over there?
Well, never you mind all that. I'm not inviting you over. When people like you or Celine Driver or whoever else is coming to town to meet me or to eat, I just take them to T-Bones. You know?
T-Bones.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's a steakhouse.
I don't cook for them. Yeah. No. Yeah. T-Bones is amazing. Tommy fries.
Now, if there's a similar comparison, who would you stack it up against?
With T-Bones? Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's a steakhouse like a Logan's or a Longhorns or something like that. But it's more of a local thing. It's not like a nationwide chain. I think there's only 3 or 4 of them total, and 2 of them are here in Augusta.
I got you. I got you.
And their steaks are
now,
okay.
Are they good at getting your steak right?
Well, no restaurant is good at getting the steak right. That's my issue with ordering steaks in a restaurant. It's not that the steaks aren't any good or whatever, but if I order a medium steak at 5 different restaurants, that means 5 different things. Like medium is different depending on where you order it. So I would much rather go to the store and buy a nice steak and cook it myself. I can season it the way I want, and I know exactly how I like it cooked. And sometimes you order a medium steak at a restaurant, and what they think is medium, to me, is more like medium well or something.
Yeah.
So
always
it's
order one thing below.
Right. That's what they say. That's what they
I
say.
always order, because I like mine medium, so I always order medium rare, and it usually comes out medium.
Yeah, maybe I have to try that. I don't know. Alejandro wants to know if I've ever been to North Korea. I can't disclose that information at this time, not on this forum.
That is Bluetooth confidential.
Right. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I've been to North Korea. I went with Dennis Rodman. We had a great time too.
I've never been out of the country. I can't.
Fun fact.
That I have.
Fun fact for you. In North Korea, there are exactly 0 happy houses.
0 happy houses. I think I saw that one coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Boom. Right. Thank you.
What
I'll
about
be here
South
all
Korea?
week. I'll be here all week. Unfortunately, today's the last day of the week, so it is what it is.
What about South Korea?
No, I've never been. No, the only I've been to Germany. That's the I've been to Germany, Jamaica, Mexico, and Canada.
I mean, do you think they have happy houses, South Korea?
Yes, I do.
I would agree with that. Yep.
I
want to go to Australia. Like that's the country I want to go to.
I would Australia, Australia and Ireland. Like if I woke up tomorrow and there was an email from some travel agency that said we're going to send you anywhere you want for a week. We'll fly you there. We'll put you up. Here's $5,000 to spend. You name the place. It would either be Australia or Ireland. Yeah. I would. Yeah.
Good choice.
Those are like, if I could only pick 2 places to go, like before I die, I would love to go to those 2 places. I was in Quebec, Quebec City to be exact.
Quebec City. How was that?
I don't remember much of it. I was in 7th grade, and at the time, Quebec City in particular was almost totally French speaking. So like all the road signs were in French, all the restaurant signs were, every sign you would read was in French. The people spoke French. It was a strange place to be. And they do the whole, like, Buckingham Palace, I'd have the guards that stand outside and stuff like that. They have that there too. It was a weird place.
Oh, okay.
My dad was born there.
I don't have any. Where?
My dad was born in Quebec City. That's why we went. One summer.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
One summer we took a vacation to, we went to Washington, D.C. for 3 days. And while we were up that way, he said, I'm going to take y'all to where I was born. And so we went and stayed in Quebec City for a couple of days. And we actually went to the house he grew up in, knocked on the door, tried to talk to the people that lived there. That didn't go very well because they were French speaking. But they let my dad in to look around. Like, he went in his old bedroom, that kind of thing. And then there was a tree in the front yard where him and his sister had carved their initials in the tree when they were 2 and 3 years old or whatever.
Wow.
And the initials were now like 15 feet in the air. But they were still there.
Ah.
They were still there.
So
that was interesting.
That thought didn't even enter my head. That's cool. That's cool.
Speaking of that's cold.
So does that mean you're a big hockey fan?
No. I like playoff hockey because it's exciting. It's
yes.
But I don't remember the last time I watched a regular season hockey game.
Yeah, I'm not a hockey fan either, but if you're not a hockey fan, you still need to watch the NHL playoffs. It is the atmosphere is more electric than an NFL playoff game and Major League Baseball, basketball, professional sports, hockey, playoff, best atmosphere.
Yeah. I tell you what else is exciting. Well, anytime it's an elimination game and something like that, like hockey, and they go to a shootout or whatever, unbelievable. Yeah. Tournament soccer is that way once it gets to the knockout stages. of tournament soccer, whether you're talking about the World Cup, which is of course the biggest tournament in the world, or even smaller regional, like they have the CONCACAF tournament, where it's basically a North American tournament, Canada, United States, Mexico, and all the South American teams. When a tournament like that gets to the knockout phases, it gets real exciting at the end too, because most soccer games are 1-point games, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2.
Yeah.
And so you get down to like the last 10 minutes of a knockout game and the score is 1-0 or 2-1. Like the other team is just, it's win or go home. And the last 10 or 15 minutes of those games are unbelievable. And then, of course, if it goes to a shootout, I mean, in soccer, the penalty kicks is exciting too.
So do you know a lot about soccer since your kids are in soccer, right?
My son, he's been playing for 7 or 8 years. Yeah, he's on a traveling soccer club now.
Okay, so the one thing that I've always wanted to ask somebody, because I don't understand it. I get offsides in football. I understand that. What is offsides in soccer?
Same as hockey.
Do you know what that means?
Same as hockey.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know the rule in hockey.
Offsides is very hard to explain verbally, but if I can find a picture, offsides, soccer. Basically, the offsides rule is to prevent a team from leaving an offensive player down on their side of the field by themselves, so that if there's a turnover, all you would have to do is kick the ball all the way to the other side of the field and no one would be there. When your team has the ball, let's say me and you are on the same team, okay? And we're going, like if you're watching it on TV, we're going to the left to try to score, okay?
Okay.
If I have the ball, you can't be the closest person to our opponent's net. Someone on the other team has to be further down the field than you.
So you can't get behind them for an unfair advantage, basically.
No, you can't. You can't.
That makes sense.
And if you do, it's offsides. And it's judged, like let's say I was going to pass you the ball, okay? When the ball leaves my foot, you can't be the furthest person down the field if I'm passing the ball to you.
Okay.
Now, let's say you're running full speed and there is an opponent further down the field than you. And when when the ball leaves my foot, he's further down the field than you, but he's standing still. And you're at a full sprint. And while the ball is either in the air or on the ground, you pass the guy. That's not offsides. Offsides is judged when the ball leaves the passing player's foot.
Very well explained. I understand that.
Here's I know you can't,
and the reasoning
I know you can't see the screen, but for anyone else that's watching, in this scenario here, the red team has the ball, and the red box is to illustrate what the offsides area would be based on where the furthest defender is, which is this guy. This is the furthest defender down the field. This guy is offsides right now. If this person with the ball were to pass the ball to this guy right now, that would be offsides. This guy has to be behind this guy, or it's offsides. And it's the exact same in hockey. The rule is the same in hockey.
So now, not only do I understand the rule, but now I understand why it's a rule. I actually get why offsides is offsides and why it's in place. It's to eliminate unfair advantage, or maybe both teams, just sticking a man on the other side.
Right, because the team, like let's say this red team that has the ball, this guy could just stay here for the entire game. But he can't unless there's a defender further down. So, and
I got you.
there's a lot of strategy involved in that too, like how the defense will play. Like if everybody on the defense just runs to midfield, no player on the other team can cross midfield unless they have the ball. So you'll see soccer. That's why you see deep defenders in soccer who normally play back here. A lot of times they'll move way up almost to midfield because they're trying to limit the portion of the
person
field
that wouldn't know that would be
play
like
on. Yeah. So once you sort of understand the basics of the rule, when it helps you understand why defenders in soccer are doing certain things sometimes, because just as much as when you have the ball, you don't want to commit an offsides. The defense is constantly trying to put you in an offsides position. Like there's a whole strategy involved on defense to try to put the other team in an offsides position. So once you understand how the rule works, it's when you're watching soccer, you'll see kind of that strategy play out. But
I've always wondered why Scott's.
So this guy's
some soccer teams they put all their defenders on one side.
Right. So
I understand.
This guy who's currently on offense, his teammate has the ball. This guy is offsides because there's no defender between him and the net. The furthest defender is right here. So everybody who doesn't have the ball has to be on this side of this imaginary line. So,
Luke, now I can watch a soccer and hockey game, and it'll be a little bit more enjoyable now, because that's the one rule that I never understood. Well, I still don't get icing, but maybe you can explain that on a different day. But offsides, I understand it now.
Yeah. Icing, I don't understand icing quite as well, but basically you can't pass the puck from the quarter line of your defensive side past the goalie line of the other side without someone else touching the puck first. But I'm probably not explaining that very good. I've been following soccer very closely now for the last 6 or 7 years since my son got into it, so I'm much better at explaining it. With icing, I can't explain icing as well as I can explain offsides. I know icing in hockey when I see it, but I can't explain it in an understandable way.
So basically, you can't clear the puck if you're behind your
I think it's the quarter line. I think it's the quarter line. If you're behind the quarter line, you can't clear your own puck all the way down to the other side unless your team touches it first. If the other team touches it, it's icing, I think is the way it works. But I'm not nearly as good as explaining that part of it. Gator Zone, thank you for the super chat. He says, pro tip, pho, which is Vietnamese soup, cures sinuses. I'll tell you a quick story about Vietnamese food. I've never had Vietnamese food either, and there's a specific reason why. I used to go to New York a lot. My sister-in-law lived up there, and we would go down to what is basically Chinatown in New York City. And every ethnic group has their own area down there. There's Chinatown, there's Koreatown, there's Little Italy, and the Vietnamese have their own area down there too. And there's this restaurant down there that my sister-in-law and brother-in-law love, and it's a Vietnamese restaurant. And there's this sandwich that they get from there that they swear is amazing. And we were down there one time, and we were getting ready to leave, and they weren't hungry, but they wanted a Vietnamese sandwich to eat later. They love these Vietnamese sandwiches so much. So they went in and bought a Vietnamese sandwich to go, and it came in a little baggie or whatever. And then we got back in the car, and we had to drive back to Long Island where they lived. The smell of those Vietnamese sandwiches is probably the worst smelling food I've ever smelt in my life. It was absolutely horrible. It was like a weird combination of dog shit and puke. And I'm not, it was awful. It was awful. And because of that, there is no way I could ever eat any Vietnamese food ever if I lived to be 200. Because I can't get that. That's the first exposure I had to any Vietnamese food. And I didn't even try it or eat it. But the smell was so bad from those Vietnamese sandwiches. I could never force myself to eat any Vietnamese food now, ever. We have a Vietnamese restaurant here in town. Pho Bach is the name of it. My daughter has been with one of her friends and liked it. I won't even go in there because I'm so afraid I'm going to smell that smell when I walk in there that I can't. I mean, I don't have a weak stomach. To me, it almost made me sick to my stomach. It was that bad, the smell.
Wow.
And so I can never eat Vietnamese food.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't be able to get past that smell. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Now they love these things.
Really.
When my sister-in-law had her daughter, and she was laid up in the hospital for a couple of days afterwards, and she was getting tired of the hospital food or whatever, and they said, "Well, tell us what you want. We'll bring you something." Vietnamese sandwich. That's what she wanted. Vietnamese sandwich. And all I had to do was make sure I didn't get stuck riding in the elevator up with whoever was bringing her the Vietnamese sandwich, because I would have, it's that bad to me.
Oh, you mix that with the elevator movement. That might be a bad situation.
Right? Yeah. Not good. Not good. I had to go ahead and decline that offer. I had to.
Yeah.
I had to.
Good choice.
Nick says Panda Express is pretty good. I think I've had Panda Express a couple of times.
Yes.
And I don't remember it being bad, so it must have been fine. Usually when I eat Chinese, I do a takeout. There's a takeout place I like to go to. I used to go to the Chinese. There's a Chinese buffet right across from the mall here in town. What was the name of it? New Peking, I think. Anyway, it was my favorite Chinese buffet in town. And of course, we have a PF Chang's here. That's the best Chinese food you'll ever have.
Yep.
When you go to a buffet or a takeout place, they kind of, no matter what you order, it gets cooked in the same pot or on the same hot stove or whatever. And so everything kind of has that same basic flavor in it, no matter what you order. When you go to PF Chang's, if you go to PF Chang's and order pepper steak, it tastes like pepper steak and nothing else. And plus, they have those lettuce wraps. Those lettuce wraps are, if you haven't had lettuce wraps in PF Chang's, my God, those things are so good.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I've tried to make lettuce wraps at home a couple of times, and they were good, but they never come out quite as good as PF Chang's. But PF Chang's is amazing.
Mexican has always been my favorite food, but we lived in Seneca, South Carolina for about 2 years. And there's this one Mexican restaurant over there called Taco Riendo. And I'm not even exaggerating. That place is so good that it almost makes other Mexican restaurants seem bad. That's how good it is. And they're not bad. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm saying it's that good. The crazy thing is, it's not this big restaurant. It's almost like a fast food mixed with Mexican, but it's a Mexican restaurant. But the way it's set up doesn't make it seem like it would be that good. So now when we go Mexican, we live about 20 minutes from that restaurant, and there's probably 5 or 6 that are within 5 minutes of our house. We're driving 20 minutes to Taco Riendo.
Yeah. I like the Mexican restaurant. I mean, I like Mexican food. But this is something I've talked about a lot on here too. When we would go out to eat, Mrs. Lou and the kids or whatever, if we went out to eat 10 times, 9 times it was Mexican. I don't know how it ended up being that way, but it's like we would just get in the car and you wouldn't even have to touch the steering wheel. It would just automatically drive you to the closest Mexican restaurant, and I just got sick of it. I mean, it got to the point.
Yeah,
it got to the point at the end where if that's where we were going to eat, I would just stay home and make a Wish sandwich. It got to the point I would rather eat a Wish sandwich than Mexican, because it's every single time we went out to eat, that's where everybody wanted to go, and I just got sick of it to the point where Wish sandwiches were better. You like Wish sandwiches?
It used to be that way. Say it again.
I said, do you like Wish sandwiches? You've probably eaten a bunch of Wish sandwiches in your life. You strike me as the type of person who's probably eaten a bunch of Wish sandwiches.
What is are you saying Wish?
Yeah, Wish, W-I-S-H.
What is that? I don't. Maybe I have, but I've never heard that.
It's when you wish.
What is it?
It's when you wish you had something to put between the two pieces of bread, but you don't.
Oh, yeah, many times, yeah.
Yeah, so you just eat a couple pieces of bread. It got to the point I'd rather stay home and do that than go to the Mexican place. You know.
Yeah.
But I do like Mexican. You know, I like. Now I'm not. I don't eat a lot of the. When I do eat Mexican, it's very basic. I like tacos. I like cheese enchiladas, rice and beans. Sometimes I'll order the nachos.
Oh yeah.
But I don't do the chimichanga and the chalupa, and I don't even know what that is. I don't even want to know. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. We were in the same situation as you as far as you know, if we go out to eat 9 times out of 10 it'd be Mexican. But that's the cool thing about this particular restaurant. It actually solved that problem because now we don't want to go to just any Mexican restaurant. And it is 20 minutes away. So it's not, you know, an all the time thing anymore. Now it's turned back into a special type of occasion. So it actually solved that problem as well.
Yeah, Alita, I agree. And the Happy House sounds like the type of place I would love. So we'll see. Looking forward to it. That is hilarious that there's a Korean restaurant called Happy House. That's hilarious.
I mean, what are you supposed to think, you know?
Yeah.
Where's that? Where did they say that was at?
South side. I can't. Where'd you say it was? Deansbridge Road or Peach Orchard Road, I think. I know it was somewhere on the south side of town, or maybe it was Deansbridge, or maybe it was Lumpkin Road. I can't remember now, but it's on the south side of town. I remember.
So you can actually go. You're going to go, right?
Oh yeah, it's in Augusta. So I remember passing that place and thinking, yeah, wonder what goes on in there. Wink, wink. You know, I didn't even know it was a restaurant. But yeah, apparently it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
Deansbridge Road. Okay. Yeah.
Sounds like a strip club, don't it?
No. It sounds like a rub and tug place.
Oh yeah.
I mean.
Either or.
Yeah. The Happy House.
You're going to have to tell us about the experience.
Well, it depends how happy.
I'm curious
it depends how happy I am, whether or not I'm able to divulge that information.
Well, if it goes into the R category, you can describe it in PG terms.
Right. Yeah. And I can change the names to protect the guilty if I need to.
I gotcha. Hey, I got one quick question for you. Do you have a specific day you're planning on calling Walt Dettola here on the Roar? I really want to listen to that live on the radio.
Well, it won't be today because I have, as soon as the morning show ends, I've got some errands I have to go run, and then I'm picking my kids up today from school at 2:30, and my dad's having this big pool party tomorrow, and cookout, and the kids are spending the night over there. So anyway, I got to get their bags packed up and all that and taken over to my dad. So I won't have time to do it today. But I think it's a Monday through Friday. Isn't it a Monday through Friday deal with that show at 3 o'clock or something?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great time because there's really not a day of the week where I can't listen at 3 under normal circumstances. Right. It just so happens that today I have all kinds of stuff to do pretty much as soon as this show ends up until whatever time later. But because I have to take my kids over to my dad's, I don't even know if I'll be back home by 6 o'clock when the show ends. So it won't be today is all I know.
I got you.
Maybe on Monday morning's show, I'll have a better idea when I'm doing the show on Monday morning what my afternoon is going to be like on Monday. And so what I'll do is whatever day I do it, I'll let everyone know on the morning show I'm doing it that day. So if they want to listen into the show live, they can. But I'm going to record the phone call too when I do it and then upload it to the channel. So even if even if if people happen to miss me when I call in because they're not listening or whatever, you'll still be able to see what happens when I upload the video. So.
Yeah, I do. I'm not gonna lie. I do listen to him a lot. He sounds very knowledgeable, but the Georgia view, I don't agree with. And you know me, past 2 years when people were pumping Georgia up, I was like, nah, it's not going to happen. This year, I really think Georgia's got something going. I really do.
Yeah. That guy says, this is a great morning show. Again, Uncle Lou and Golden Blue Man. I agree. And you know what? It's because I got a good night's sleep last night. Even though I had to do the night show, I was probably asleep 20 minutes after the night show ended last night, which is unusual because I get all worked up when I do those call-in shows, and it's hard for me to go to sleep right away. But I don't know if I was just tired or what, but I didn't have any problem falling asleep last night. But then I woke up at 3:30 in the morning, and I was wide awake.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so I was up for about an hour, I guess, and then I finally fell back asleep, and then got up at the normal time. But so I got a good night's sleep last night. So that's probably why the show was so good today. That and the fact that Golden Blue Dude is on here, and you probably get a good night's sleep all the time, don't you? You probably don't have the anxiety or mental problems that I have that keep you up at night, huh?
I'm a little OCD, but I can usually get to bed around midnight, which might seem late, but I'm good at midnight. If I can get to sleep by midnight, 6-7 hours, I'm good.
Yeah, that's usually my goal, is to try to be asleep by midnight. Except on Mondays, me and Pete have that show that doesn't end till midnight. But every other day, I try to be asleep by midnight. But I was up hooting with the owls a couple of nights this week, and that I'm not complaining, but I was up hooting with the owls a couple of nights this week, so was behind on sleep a little.
A lot of people don't know this because you mentioned it, the OCD thing. I don't know when it turned into this, but now because I do videos every day, if I don't have it done by 9 o'clock, I start stressing out, and it's not really an obligation or anything like that, but in my brain it's now part of my day, and if I don't do it, I feel like I know they call it irrational thoughts, like something bad's going to happen or something like that, and I don't think something bad's going to happen, but it just feels like I'm supposed to do it, and I have fun doing it. I'm not saying it's a drudgery or anything like that. But if it gets later on in the day and I don't have one out, I start stressing for real. So I don't know if I could take a day off.
Yeah. YouTube has a certain reputation, but and maybe there's some truth to some of the reputation associated with YouTube. Some of it is totally and completely way off base, though. But it can be very stressful. I talked about that when I took those 2 or 3 days off. That's why I don't. Prior to that, I would work on vacation. I would do, I'd post videos on vacation and do live shows when I was on vacation because I was so. You have this anxiety that somehow if you go 2 or 3 days without posting a video, people are going to unsubscribe and forget you exist. There's some anxiety that goes along with that, and I've heard YouTubers with 100 subscribers talk about that, and I've heard YouTubers with 10 million subscribers talk about that. So, but yeah,
it's a real thing.
Golden Blue Man, we discussed it all today, didn't we?
I think we covered it all.
We covered it all. This was one of the better morning shows we've had in a while. If I do say so myself, and I do. Say so myself. So I'm going to check one last time. I think it's pretty obvious who the winner for the picture contest is. Yes, Michael Gill. Congratulations, sir. You are this week's winner. So we get a break next week. I know you're not happy about this, Golden Blue Man, but we won't have to look at West Virginia. After 3 weeks in a row of having to stare at this West Virginia picture, or a West Virginia picture, next week we get a reprieve, unless for some reason Georgia fan Michael Gill decides to send in a West Virginia picture, which I don't see happening. So Michael Gill,
That'd be hilarious.
you are this week's winner. Send me a picture sometime over the weekend, anytime by the time the show starts Monday morning at 8. And we'll get this West Virginia picture replaced with whatever picture it is you send in. It can whatever you want, as long as it's YouTube approved. We'll post it.
I'm actually okay with that. I think West Virginia has been well represented.
They've seen a lot of love on this channel over the last 3 weeks, hadn't they?
Yep.
Thank you to everybody who helped support the show this morning through the Super Chat. Gator Zone, Golden Blue Dude, Waikiki, Michael Gill, Mommy's Toys, which I still have a million questions for, Slim Shady Canes, Lizard Circus, Gator Zone, Slim Shady Canes, and, of course, over on the PayPal page, Mike Reiser. I really, really appreciate you guys supporting the show. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. That's a great way to support the show that doesn't cost you anything at all. It doesn't take any time either. It literally takes less than a second, however long it takes you to click your screen or your mouse. Hit the thumbs up. Shout out to those of you who participated in the comment section today. This channel is what it is. It's a pretty average / below average channel, but the comment section is the best on YouTube. So I really appreciate y'all showing up each and every day and keeping the comment section so lively, so active, and so great. And a lot of you stuck around to the very end today. The Real Big Lee, Macklin Griffin, Robert Holloway, Nick, That Guy, J.C. Howell, Slim Shady Canes, Lizard Circus. Good luck with your hip surgery, by the way. I'm sure everything will be fine. But here's to a quick recovery in that. I'll try to do as many thoughts for you as I can. Sea-Dog, good to see you in here today, sir. D4 Sports, don't forget to subscribe to D4 Sports. Anyway, and Golden Blue Dude, of course, thanks to you, most of all, for coming on and spending a couple hours with us this morning. I couldn't do this morning show by myself day after day after day after day after day. So without people like you that volunteer their time or whatever to come on and hang out with us, we wouldn't have what we have here. So I appreciate you taking the time. You guys, make sure you subscribe to Golden Blue Dude, West Virginia fan, post college football and college basketball videos every single day of the year. A good guy, a friend of the channel. He's always been very supportive of me and very kind to me. So let's return the favor. You guys go check him out. Subscribe to him if you're not already. Watch a couple of his videos. And why don't you tell him what you have coming up over there?
Right now I'm in the middle of my, I guess you would call them season predictions. I call them my heaven and hell scenarios. I try to cover as many FBS, kind of like what you do, just kind of a different twist.
Okay.
And the logo voting thing.
Right.
That's still going on.
Go over there and vote for your favorite college football logo. Georgia's already been eliminated, so if you're a Georgia fan, go over there and pick the second. We know Georgia's the best, but for some reason the poll got lopsided, which shouldn't happen, but it did.
You can thank Sea-Dog for that one.
So go ahead and pick your second favorite logo over there on his channel and vote for that one. 2 songs to play at the end of today's show. One just because I want to, and one was a request from, I think, yesterday that I forgot to play at the end, which I did remember that, by the way, as soon as I clicked end stream. So I apologize for that, but we're going to play that today, a request from Creeping Death 81, the most disturbing name in the comments section. So we're going to play his song, and then we're going to play another one just because I want to. Golden Blue Dude, thank you, sir. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to have you on again.
Have a good one, Lou.
All right, buddy. Take it easy. All right, there you go. Golden Blue Dude. Golden Blue Man. I think his actual channel name is Golden Blue Dude. I don't know why. It should be Golden Blue Man. I've tried asking him to change it. I've even tried telling him to change it. So far, no such luck. But anyway, I do appreciate y'all tuning in today and all week. I can't wait to do this thing tomorrow. I love this morning's show. All right, 2 songs coming up. Should we do the request first? Yeah, we'll do the request first. How about that? We'll do the request first, and then I'm going to play another one just because I want to. Hope y'all enjoy your weekend. Have a great morning. All right, let me get this thing pulled up for you, buddy. This is a great song. This is my second favorite song from them. The one I played yesterday is my favorite, but there you go. This is my second favorite.
Grammarly.
This is a local band from here in Augusta, Georgia, and I went to high school with 4 of the 5 people in this band, and I'm still friends with them today. In fact, one of them, we talk about my kid's soccer team all the time. One of the guys in this band, there's 2 singers. One of the singers, his son, is on my son's soccer team. So I get to see him every other weekend or every weekend or whatever there's a game around or whatever. But a local band from around here, and they got to be pretty popular for a couple of years. They opened for Bush at a big, at a concert here in town at the Bell Auditorium. They toured around the Southeast for a while. They played during spring break. Club La Vila when MTV was there. They were on they did a show on the Disney Channel one time. Anyway, they got pretty big for a while. But here you go, Riff Raff Kings back in the day.
Back in the day, I used to write rhymes. You're passing time to the light. Turn live, you looking funny, making that money because you're doing the crowd. Me and my group, what do? I said we do it the best. We dropping the bombs every day because we from the west side. The same town that James Brown is from. Stupid on the mic, that means I get dumb. Gentle Giant, Big Bipo, Bob, it's the Riff Raff. Come and get you some. That was back in the day. Now the times have changed. And we're in the studio with the music arranged. We making them hit the records cause that's what we do. It's not a reminiscence about what we used to. Back in the day, yo, I had much style. People listening, I was listening to England now. And the people reading could only remember this song. But now I rock the mic with so much soul. I was too wide to handle, too cold to hold. JJ's beats were tight, my rhymes were bold. It was like a dream for a kid my age. Busting bad rhymes, page after page. I couldn't stop, yo. No, my style was vicious. They had so much flavor that they call me delicious. Every day, every shift. You don't wanna miss this. Start checking them stories of the witch petition. They went like that, they went like this. They were so nice that you couldn't resist. I had the whole playground up in their hands. Smoking at famous people in foreign lands. Intriguing all the kids from 8 to 7. Teachers couldn't believe it, I was only 11. After my show was done, time to play. Time to change now. That was back in the day. Back in the day, I used to bust rhymes every time that the mic was passed. If I argue about everything, thinking I could win fast. Because we're breaking, because we're bringing it hard. While styles got you sounding like a retard. Please, we bring it so you're bringing up on the cheese. And I don't think like that because it's making you sleep. Now check this, you wonder why you won't come on, let's play. But I suggest you pick your rounds and go back. Back in the day, to the way. The mic was found, and with the mic in my hand, I'll have to lay it down pound for pound with the set. Look at the heart on the mic. Step into it like Tina Turner, let me show you. Architect is our direction to the end of this jam. And before we take it like honest, cause it's making you snap. So you know, the rhythm and the rhymes we say. Bring the raps and the styles way back in the day. Back in the day, I used to drop bombs. Yeah.
All right, now one more just because I want to. And I have to.
Must be some kind of way out of here. Sending jokers to the thief. 2 months confusion. I can't get no relief. Businessman is into my heart. none of them alone the line. No word any of it's worth. No reason to get excited. The thief kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel life is but a joke. But you and I have been through all that. Yes, we will. And this is not a fake. So let us not talk falsely now. The hour is getting late. All in the watchtower, princess kept little you. Well, only women came in the world. Their horses and stew. Outside in the cold distance, while Jackie Brown, la la la, stood out of her, approaching our windmill too. you all very much. God bless you again. Bye-bye. Tim Reynolds on the guitar. Timmy Yoko.
Well, one more.
what we do. I'm not going to change my ways just to please you or appease you. Here, look at this crowd, 9,000 proud, willing to punch it out. Right along, weak, strong, ashes to ashes, all fall down. No, look around about this roundabout, this merry-go-round and around. If at all God's gaze upon us falls, it's with a mischievous grin. Look at him Forget about the reason and its reasons we are seeking. Forget about the notion that our emotion can be kept at bay. Forget about being guilty, we have no sentence instead. For soon we will all find our lives swept away. Oh, look at me in my fancy car and my bank account. Oh, how I wish I could take it all down to my grave. God knows I'd save and save. Man, take a look again, take a look again. Things you have collected, well, in the end it all piles up so tall to one big nothing at all. Forget about the reason and its reasons we are seeking. Forget about the notion that our emotion can be kept at bay. Forget about being guilty, we are innocent instead. For soon we will all find our lives swept away. And you know how it is. You seek up an emotion and your cup is overflowing. You seek up an emotion, sometimes your world is dry. You seek up a big monster for him to fight your wars for you. But when you find his way to you, the devil's got a gold. Oh, see, late at night with TV's hungry child, his belly swells. Well, for the price of a Coke or a smoke, I could keep alive those hungry eyes. Man, take a look again, take a look again, take a look again. Every day things change, basically they stay the same. Forget about the reason and the reasons we are seeking. Forget about the notion that our emotion can make it that big. Forget about being guilty, we are innocent instead. For soon we will all find our lives swept away. And you know how it is. You seek up an emotion and your cup is overflowing. You seek up an emotion, sometimes your world is dying. You seek up a big monster for him to fight your wars for you. But when you find his way to you, the devil's not going high. lose control. Well, there's nowhere to go now. How about breathing yourself in love for eternity? Thank you very, very much.